Oh, please, moaning about the amount of room. Always an excuse.
We need a bigger tent. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, Steve Brunskill and special guest Anthony Phoenix will be guiding you through the forehand drive. Also featuring tip of the day. These tips help provide key insights that can improve your performance. Common mistakes, a few pointers that fine-tune your techniques and steer you clear of them familiar errors. And if that's not enough, Steve throws in a practical drill for you to take away to your next training session. Let's get into it.
Today we're going to look at the forehand topspin, or forehand drive as it's sometimes known. Okay, so as with previous videos, the stance is where we'll start from. So we're going to be slightly away from the table. Again, arm about 90 degrees, nearly 90 degrees, so my arm's parallel to the tabletop. I want a slightly closed back angle. I'm going to rotate away from the table and come up and finish round about chin to head height, depending on your size. So I'll always rotate back with my body. So I've got this weight transfer. So I don't know if you can see on my feet there, you'll see how I go back to start the shot onto my right leg, being right-handed player, and I push and rotate over onto my left. So we've got this action, and I'm brushing up the ball, slightly closed angle, creating a bit of topspin. So as in this. And we're looking like most topspins, top of the bounce, and going from corner to corner, probably to start as a beginner. And it's not a massive movement, it's fairly short movement. We've got to be quite economical because we're close and it's quick. Quite a loose grip. Now just push forward. We need to be balanced all the time. And when I hit the ball, I'll be hitting the ball here in front of me, right opposite my stomach. So it'll be this position here. So we've got top of the bounce. There's one timing point in front of the body. There's another timing point. Want to be hitting the ball pretty central in the bat for this shot because it's quite a flat. Although we're giving it top spin, we're not looking to produce a lot of spin with it. A bit more direct. And again, after each hit, I'm kind of looking up, I'm peripherally looking up and catching my opponent's bat just to check the angle, the direction that they're playing. So it's not a matter of just watching the ball all the way. You can see that pushing over, pushing over. So I'll push into the ball, push into the ball. And this shot is probably not a shot that you're going to actually use in a match. This shot for me now, the game's moved on, so when it comes onto the forehand, you'll be looking to put a lot more topspin into it. This shot's more about getting warmed up. You'll see all the top players, world-class players, they will always do this shot, but will hardly use it in a match. The reason being is you've got to start somewhere to develop from. So this is your development shot for me. And you'll be looking to develop timing, feel on the ball, accuracy, movement, and then at a later stage this will be developed into a lot more topspin. Another type of shot that you'll definitely be bringing into the game, as opposed to this. Hardly anybody now uses this shot in a match. So I'll switch around again. We'll get Anthony down this end just so you can see another sort of style of somebody doing it, and I'll go through the technique as Anthony's doing it as well. Okay, so as we do this shot, you can see Anthony's elbows roughly 90 degrees. He's leaning forward, feet are more than shoulder width apart, his knees are bent, and he's pushing into the ball with his body weight. Now you can see Anthony drops his bat lower than I did, but he's taller than me, so that's probably the reason for that. And his bat finishes just at the side of his chin. it never goes past your centre line, so there's no bit where, if you show your centre line, where you finish. So it'll finish there, which is roughly a neutral stance position. If you would extend that across too far, so this would be going too far and you obscure your view. So again, if you watch it, just top of the bounce, he just rolls up the back of the ball, hitting it quite centrally with his bat, so it's fairly flat shot, and everything's the same stroke all the time. We're not looking for variation unless the ball changes. So if I'm accurate, he doesn't need to do anything. Boom. Good. So tip of the day, we'll be looking at rotating backwards for me. So when a lot of players play this, they think it's about the arm, where for me it's not, it's about the legs again. So I've got this rotation back at the hip, and that automatically takes my arm back, so my arm doesn't need to move much. I can add a little bit more on, if depending on how much spin I want, how much power I want, but the initial movement is just, there's my back complete, there's neutral, I twist back and push. So I'll load this leg so I can have power in the future if I want it, or I can just add a bit more of a swing at the last minute to get that little bit extra that I need. The other bit would be your timing point of hitting the ball. We're on top of the bounce and right opposite our center point of our stomach, so it's there. So if I make a triangle between me and my body, yeah, there it is there when I twist, because obviously it'll move if my body moves, and I'll catch it at that point there. So if you just go nice and steady, you'll see, one, I twist back, my arm's not swinging back much, yeah, it's all done at the hips and the feet, hip and the feet. And this gap here between the elbow and the body is crucial that you keep it roughly the same. So in our backhand topspin video, we mentioned locating the elbow, keeping it quite static. The same in this shot as well. So I've got this position, this gap here might be about 4 inches on me, and then I've got to move and keep that there. If the ball moves around, my feet will move, so I keep that 4 inches between my elbow and my body is almost static. Common mistake is, as I was saying there, is if you pull the arm back behind you, or you take the arm, swing the arm out too far this way, and then it puts all the time in, or you'll play too close to your body. And the other thing is, a lot of tall people seem to do this for some reason, is they'll swing across here. Now the recovery for that is massive, whereas if you finish here, then you basically, if you relax, you're back in neutral. If you watch the top players, and I will do a video eventually on this where I'll show how all the top players in between shots are always, the bat's just here. Doesn't matter what shot they're doing, the bat's roughly in this position here all the time, ready for the next shot. They're never caught out of position. Drills for this, again, we're going to look at movement, because you need to be able to move and not lose this and not lean in different directions. So we want to be, what I call our body shape is this kind of position here, and really you want to not lose that. If my opponent makes me break this shape, he's got me, or they've got me, yeah. So it's like so it's about holding this shape and then getting strong in holding this, not letting your eye level, head level come up and down. So I'll have one person blocking 2 there and 2 there. So I've got to go between these two points. So you've got your table and your net. You've got your feeder at this side. They can feed with either the backhand or the forehand, so you can feed from either side. And to be quite honest, it would be good to actually do so many, from like a drill from one and a drill from the other, because it really changes the angle that the ball comes to. If it was from the backhand side, you'd probably go into a backhand but not too wide, and then into what would be our hip area, or you could go forehand kind of out wide and then forehand towards the corner. And this player would then move from two forehands and then 2 forehands. or 2 forehands. I know this is from the backhand side, and 2 forehands, and they would just be all going back to the 1 point. Great little exercise. So should we demonstrate it?
Yep.
So middle first. This is from the forehand block side. So you've got 1, 2. My aim is to make every shot the same from this point to this point. So one's wide, one's central, but I've got to get my feet, and the foot camera probably used to pick this up, how my feet's moving across, my feet don't come together, they both kind of skip, so I hold the same stance in between, get across, and you can see my bat's not swinging about, I'm keeping this gap the same distance, hitting the ball at the same point in front of the body. So that's from the forehand feed. We can also do the same with the backhand feed. So you could start with a serve or whatever. I think it's sometimes better if you're working on just the technique to go directly into the drill. So you've got 1, 2, I get across, 1, 2, and this shot should be basically the same again. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and again, it's all about the feet in position. If I'm not in position, I can't do the rest of the technique right. I've got to be in position first, and that's the other thing, is beat the ball. 1, 2, I'm there before the ball. I see where it's going, I'm there before the ball. I see where he's putting it, there before the ball. So what we've looked at there is the forehand topspin or drive, as it's known as, and like I said, it is more about developing other aspects of the game as opposed to actually producing a shot you're going to use in a match to win matches, unless you play with pimples or something. So our stance, we looked at our stance, just slightly triangle at the table, and we looked at the starting position, bat about hip height, coming through to about chin height and finishing in the centre. This little rotation back with the body, keeping this gap between the elbow and the body and the arm roughly 90 degrees. Common mistake is we come across too much sometimes. We sometimes lose this gap. We can lose it the other way as well, stretching out, yeah, and rather than move behind it and keep that gap there. It's the most common mistakes. Working to do it right would be to go slow enough that you can get in position and play this shot without losing this. You could also, as we just discussed about, you could put a ball there or something there to hold that, and that'll tell you you're not reaching and you're not coming in. One of the most important tips is top of the bounce and in front, right in the center of your body is where you want to be contact. That's the perfect place to hit the ball. Drill, as we said there, you can go either way, and it would be advisable to do both. Going 2 forehands, moving 2 forehands, just half a table. Don't go too much because then you'll lose the technique. Or to the backhand block, feed in 2 into the backhand and 2 into the middle. And again, working on precise location to the ball. Okay, right, see you on the next one.